Kadzhik Adesanya, the challenger. Background: Kadzhik Adesanya, a name perhaps not as famous as some of the other legendary fighters, but a warrior in his own right. Born in the Caucasus, in the land of mountainous landscapes and fierce combat traditions, Kadzhik was raised on a diet of strength, endurance, and discipline. He came from a lineage where wrestling, boxing, and judo were not just sports, but methods of survival. The Adesanya family's reputation in martial arts stretched across generations, with each member honing a mix of wrestling and striking techniques that were renowned throughout their community. Kadzhik's early years were shaped by the hardships of his environment, making him a fighter from birth. His decision to step into the fighting arena was inevitable. Despite the brutal conditions, his heart for competition never wavered. His family wasn't wealthy, but they were resilient. His father, a retired judo champion, became his first mentor. Under the harsh, watchful eyes of his father, Kadzhik learned the importance of hard work, humility, and staying grounded. But the most crucial lesson was learning to stay calm, even in the face of adversity. By the time Kadzhik reached his mid-20s, his skills were sharp. He had earned a solid reputation in the regional fight circuit, and Prof, one of the most prestigious Russian fight promotions, took notice. With his grappling ability mixed with sudden explosive strikes, Kadzhik became known as someone to be reckoned with. However, nothing prepared him for the challenge that awaited him in February 2011.2. Khabib Nurmagomedov, the rising star. Background: now, if we're talking about Khabib Nurmagomedov, we're talking about one of the greatest martial artists of his era, a man who would go on to dominate the world stage. Born in the mountain republic of Dagestan, Khabib's life was intertwined with the rugged landscape, where survival wasn't just about fighting, it was about outlasting the harsh realities of the environment. His father, Abdulmanap Nurmagomedov, was a decorated coach and former wrestler who instilled in Khabib the philosophy of discipline and respect for the sport. Khabib's first steps into the world of martial arts were in judo, but soon his focus shifted to freestyle wrestling and sambo, the Russian martial art that would prove to be the foundation of his career. His style was described as relentless, a fighter who would impose his will, suffocate his opponent, and control every phase of the fight. What made Khabib different was his unwavering focus on his opponent's weaknesses and his ability to adapt. Khabib wasn't just a fighter, he was a chess player, thinking moves ahead. By February 2011, Khabib had already made a name for himself in various regional circuits, showcasing his seamless transitions between striking, grappling, and control. But what made Khabib truly special was his undefeated record. With a combination of precision, patience, and power, he was a rising star in the mixed martial arts world, known for his incredible work ethic and relentless pursuit of victory. The stage is set. Prof Union Nation, Cup 13, February 12, 2011. The night was electric in the arena. A large crowd had gathered to witness the showdown that many had been waiting for, the clash of two warriors. On one side of the cage stood Kadzhik Adesanya, a proud competitor from the Caucasus, with a thirst to prove himself on the grand stage. On the other side, Khabib Nurmagomedov, the undefeated champion, walked in like a man on a mission, his eyes cold and focused, a man who saw victory as a matter of necessity, not just glory. As the announcer's voice echoed through the speakers, introducing the fighters to the crowd, there was a sense of anticipation. The energy was palpable. The crowd was divided. Would Kadzhik pull off the impossible, or would Khabib continue his dominant march toward greatness? The fight. Round 1, the clash of titans. The bell rang, and the arena fell silent. Tension was thick in the air as both men took their stances in the cage, their eyes locked on each other. Kadzhik, known for his strong striking game, bounced on his feet, trying to establish his distance. His strategy was clear. He was going to try to stay on the outside, using his jab to frustrate the more methodical Khabib. But Khabib wasn't having any of it. With his signature composure, he closed the distance within moments, his footwork smooth and precise. Kadzhik threw the first punch, a quick jab aimed at Khabib's face, but Khabib anticipated it, slipping the shot with ease. Like a predator, Khabib moved in, his arms like steel cables, looking for an opening. He feinted a left hook, forcing Kadzhik to react, but this wasn't just about landing punches. No, Khabib was already planning his next move. Kadzhik tried to circle away from Khabib's pressure, but the cage was a small space, and Khabib's grappling was like a vice. He shot in for a takedown. Kadzhik braced for impact, trying to sprawl and resist, but Khabib's pressure was too much. With a single swift motion, Khabib took Kadzhik to the canvas. The crowd erupted in mixed reactions, but everyone knew what was coming next. This was Khabib's territory. Once on the ground, Khabib wasted no time. His control was absolute. Kadzhik tried to defend, turning his hips, scrambling to create space, but Khabib was relentless. He moved with precision, cutting off Kadzhik's options and controlling the position with ease. Kadzhik, for all his strength, was trapped like a lion in a cage. Khabib's elbows rained down, slow, methodical, and punishing. Kadzhik tried to cover up, but the onslaught didn't stop. With every passing second, the pressure mounted. Khabib adjusted his position, keeping Kadzhik on his back, and then, in a display of sheer dominance, Khabib unloaded a series of punches to Kadzhik's head. The finish, round 1, 4-28. Kadzhik, a fighter known for his heart and resilience, had no choice but to try to fight back. But Khabib wasn't giving him any openings. The strikes came harder now, each punch louder than the last. Kadzhik, once so confident, now seemed overwhelmed. His guard was cracked, his spirit battered by the relentlessness of Khabib's assault. With only 32 seconds left in the first round, Kadzhik's corner could see that it was becoming a matter of survival. But Khabib had one last trick in mind. He closed in, tightening his control, and with a final series of devastating punches, Kadzhik crumpled under the pressure. The referee had no choice but to step in, calling an end to the fight. Result: Khabib Nurmagomedov wins by TKO punches at 4-28 in round 1. The crowd was on their feet, chanting Khabib's name. The victory was yet another notch on Khabib's belt, but for Kadzhik, it was a bitter defeat. He had come in with hope, but Khabib's skill and control had proven too much. The aftermath. In the post-fight interviews, Khabib was humble, as usual. "It's just another day at the office," he said, his focus already shifting to his next challenge. Kadzhik, though disappointed, expressed his respect for Khabib. "He's a great fighter," Kadzhik said. "I couldn't handle his pressure." This fight, like so many others in Khabib's career, was a demonstration of his ability to impose his will on anyone he faced. For Kadzhik, it was a tough lesson in the realities of the cage, but it also marked the beginning of Khabib's inevitable march toward greatness.